Hey guys, Ash and Matt here. Tonight we're going to be doing a Facebook Live about how we eat as a family of three, because we get a lot of questions around how we eat, how Rowynne eats, how Matt eats, and is it similar to me? So we thought we would touch on that today with you guys. And so I'm going to end up asking Matt some questions because I feel like you guys might learn a little bit more from him, especially for the husbands that are watching. But I'm going to start and I'm going to kind of give you a synopsis of how we eat. So I would say as a family, we eat similar. We don't have different meals for Rowynne. We don't have different meals for Matt. I understand a lot of you guys do that. So our purpose today is to show you how to hopefully eat as a whole family and not have all these separate meals. So as a family, we are mostly gluten-free and mostly dairy-free. And I hate to say we're 100% both because we're not. We're not super strict, but I would say 90% of the time, none of us have gluten or none of us have dairy, with the exception of Ezekiel breads, the spread of grain breads, as well as goat's dairy. Okay, so that's how we eat as a family. We also, every morning when we wake up, I know I talked about this last week, but every morning when we wake up, we have a smoothie. We make a massive one for all three of us. That's kind of how we start our day, along with the green juice. And then, honestly, the rest of our meals are the same. Like, Rowynne eats no different other than it's chopped up a little bit more, or we don't throw in something like, I don't know, like raw broccoli for her. Not that we eat a ton of raw broccoli, but just as an example. So everything is the same. So how do we, I'm going to talk about our downfalls, and then how do we motivate you to kind of eat similar to us so you guys can save time, all be healthy, and then eat as a family. So I would say when it comes to a downfall, our biggest downfall would be not creating fancy meals anymore since having Rowynne. Like, we used to spend time actually like picking out recipes and cooking them together and making things fancy and fun, and I would say, I don't know. We
haven't been doing that very much.
No, we really don't do that at all.
No.
I can't even remember the last time we made something fancy. Like,
if it has fewer ingredients and it can go in a slow cooker, that's generally a qualifier.
A lot of slow cooker meals, a lot of things like done quickly on the frying pan. Like, we keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. So I would say that's a downfall, being that we don't really have a ton of variety. So we do have our typical staples. We also try to, implement some of the Royally Fit online meals here and there that we'll cook on a Sunday when we're meal prepping. But otherwise, that would be a downfall of ours.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of Instagram-worthy food.
No.
Typically.
No. I am not a good cook. And I will be the first to admit that. Like, I am not a good cook. And to be honest, I didn't even know Matt was until we had Rowynne. And then he started doing a lot of the cooking. And he's actually pretty good at it. But I'm not a good cook. So although I love to talk nutrition and health, you are not going to see my Instagram full of meals because they don't look attractive. And they're honestly so basic. Like, we would literally fuel ourselves to be energized and to feel good and be healthy. Like, we don't always eat so it looks pretty. And
I wish we could sometimes. It would be nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, we just don't have the time.
We just don't have the time.
We just don't have the time.
We should make time maybe once or twice a week to do it, though. Maybe we do that.
We'll see. Well, maybe that's a downfall. So going to our strengths. This is one of the things that we find where we have strengths in our relationship when it comes to food, is that it's teamwork. So I know a lot of you on here cook on your own. I wish I could give you some sort of solution for that other than asking for help. And I know before, I basically exclusively cooked for Matt and I. Like, once in a while on the weekend, Matt would cook me breakfast, but when we had Rowynne, I needed to accept that I couldn't do everything and be a superwoman, and I needed to ask for help. So I started asking for help, and that's how I discovered that Matt was actually quite a good cook. And then so now I lean on him a lot, and we help each other. So I would say that is a strength, but you have to ask for help.
I get it.
And I got it, thanks. You have to ask for help, and it doesn't... and not be ashamed of it, and not try to be superwoman and supermom that can do it all and have a clean house and also cook all these fancy meals. And so I would...
Yeah, and even if that help is just like prep, like even if, I'm not necessarily very good at one thing or the other, or even if it's helping with just prep, or maybe I'm throwing things out and tidying up while you're cooking.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know, we just find a way to combo it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that has become a strength in the kitchen, and one I suggest if you're trying to do it all on your own that you ask for help. And like Matt's saying, even has to do with cleaning or clean the dishes after, like whatever. So ask for help and don't try to do it all yourself. Any other strengths
in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Other strengths in the kitchen. Well, we're fast. We definitely can cook fast, and we use minimal dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's what we talked about last week on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now that we kind of went over that, so let me kind of dig a little bit deeper, and I'm going to start asking Matt some questions, because I know a lot of you are wondering for your own husbands. You're like, how do you get your husband to eat healthy, and how do you get your child to eat healthy? I would say to answer for Rowynne, it's because she doesn't have a choice. She doesn't know any different. So right now she has to eat what we eat, and we're really fortunate that she really doesn't dislike anything. So that's your answer for Rowynne. Hells yes, our babies eat when we eat. They wouldn't have it any other way. And yay to awesome hubbies who cook. Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Yes, you're a lucky woman as well. It's it's nice to eat with them. It's actually the one time where like there's like nothing around and you're just like focused on eating. And sometimes even Rowynne eating and me kind of eating with her is me prepping in the kitchen, and I pull the chair in and she's just sitting there, and I'll kind of like nibble away and we'll chit chat. But it's me also utilizing the time to prep food and do stuff like that. So, okay, so my question for Matt, that for those of you that have your husbands watching, that maybe they can learn something here and motivate them, is just so people know that you didn't always eat the way that I did. Oh, there's a bug up there.
Uh-oh.
How did you eat before we started dating?
Well, there's phases of it. When I was in university, I didn't eat very well, but you know, you would drink a lot of beer, and you would eat pasta, and you would, you know, eat burgers and just simple stuff like that because you live with guys. So I definitely packed on a lot of pounds when I was in university. I was very heavy when I graduated. I remember I was like 240 some odd pounds at one point. And then when I stopped drinking, I lost a significant amount of weight shortly after that. But then before we sort of got together, I would probably say like I ate a lot of dairy, ate a lot of pasta, ate a lot of meat. You know, I wasn't very, I ate a lot of sweets and things like that too, right? But yeah, big time drinking milk, big time eating cheese, ice cream, eating a lot of meat, a lot of gluten. I didn't really know much about it. I honestly had just no idea. I wasn't really sure. I don't think that matters, right?
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah. So I was really I wasn't very picky about what I ate, I guess is what you would say.
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't know enough. I didn't read labels. I didn't do any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I would say naturally that kind of started changing when we started dating.
Yeah.
Just because I have such a passion for it, it would have been weird if Matt didn't show an interest in it, right? So.
Well, and it rubbed off on me because then I became very interested in knowing what I was putting in my body. Even though I was still eating, we were still eating dairy and meat and drinking milk in some cases. We started drinking almond milk, but.
I've drank almond milk for years. I didn't drink milk when we were together.
No, I think I still did a little bit though. Or did I switch right over on?
When we moved in together?
Okay.
No, you didn't.
Well, maybe we did. Okay, but it was still cheese and stuff we were eating.
Yes, we still had lots of cottage cheese and lots
cottage
of. I wasn't on my
dairy,
my non-dairy kick quite yet.
I ate so much cottage cheese.
A lot of cottage cheese because that was like the weightlifters thing. Eat lots of protein, lots of cottage cheese, and lots of protein shakes and all that kind of crap. So yeah, that kind of evolved as we evolved as a couple, and also like I just started learning more about nutrition and health and stuff. So we eventually eliminated that, and that's been a couple years now. And then, so what would you say makes you motivated to continue eating like that?
There's a few factors there. One is obviously longevity and my health. Now with Rowynne, you know, you start, well, when you get into your 30s and your 40s, you start to not be able to recover as much as you used to be when you were in your 20s. Like I used to rebound pretty quickly in my 20s. Now it's like, you know, if you have a rough one, you take a day or so to recover from that, right? So I started noticing the difference about what happens when I eat poorly. Yeah. So when I eat those things like gluten and dairy, and I eat them, you know, it's different if you have a little bit. Sometimes you just can't avoid it, right? You go to a restaurant, it's in a dish, you know, you can't avoid it. But when I eat it and I like go hard or whatever, I really notice it the next day. I start to feel really crummy. and I notice it in my, you know, my way my body feels, the way my skin looks, you know, things like that, right? So, and I'll comment on that too, because I'll be standing in front of the mirror going like jiggling my belly and staring at my face, right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously one really big thing. The other thing is I think it's important to show an interest in what you're interested in, right? So as a, you know, as a couple, for me, it's important to, you know, take it and care about what you care about, right?
Yeah.
And so, and thank goodness it's something that's good for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I find that that's naturally something that I like to do is be interested in what you're interested in.
Yeah.
And I learned so much from it, right? I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And then I think the last thing is, what was the other thing?
Can I say something? Would it be your allergies?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So my allergies. So I was allergic to a lot of things when I had allergy tests when I was a kid, and dairy was one of them. And I would eat a lot of dairy, and whenever I ate a lot of dairy, I get a really bad eczema on my arms and the backs of my legs and stuff like that, and I would just scratch them like crazy. And so you know, that was attributed to dairy. So when I stopped eating copious amounts of dairy, I not only did I notice that there wasn't as much phlegm and mucus in my system, I wasn't itchy, I wasn't breaking out in hives, but also a lot of my other allergies were starting to disappear as well. So
yes.
Things that used to bother me, like dogs,
that's a big one.
Dogs and cats, just sort of started going away. Like Ryan had a dog, or still has the dog, but Ryan has that dog, and he used to drive me crazy, like because he has short hair and the dander and stuff would bother me. But now it doesn't bother me at all. Even Trey, to a certain extent, used to bother me at the beginning. Yeah. But those allergies just kind of went away.
Yeah. So when Matt and I first met each other, I had a cat. Not first met each other, but you know what I mean. I had a cat, and he was like, "I'm allergic to cats. I'm allergic to animals and their dander and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, okay, well, and you would have to take allergy pills every time you came over.
Oh, I had a reaction every day.
Yeah. And then once he eliminated the dairy from his diet, he, without even like knowing that would have an effect, he started realizing that he wasn't allergic to my parents' dog or the cat.
Yeah.
And then
it's remarkable.
Yeah, and then we started obviously learning more and doing more research, and then we found out that actually had a massive influence on that. Mm-hmm. That not having dairy makes his allergies basically non-existent. So I would say that's a huge motivator as well. Mm-hmm. So is there any other things that you could say to any of the husbands watching, or the wives that are watching that are going to get their husbands to watch this, that want their husbands to eat the same as them?
Well, I think it's important that you show an interest in what your wife is interested in. So she's really excited about, you know, eating healthy and eating well, that you should show an interest in it too. So if anything, at least try it. You don't have to commit. But at least try it. Give it a good, you know, college try for a couple of weeks and try to eat that way. And I guarantee you're going to start seeing benefits, and you're going to probably not want to eat the way you ate before. Or if you do want to eat the way you ate before, you might only want to do that once a week or something like that. Like, you'll find ways to. I'll be honest. I like a traditional pizza. Don't get me wrong. Like, if somebody brings in pizza at work, like I might be all over that. Like, because it's just that's pizza. I can't have pizza with Daya on it or goat cheese. It's just not the same. After a while, you crave a real slice of pizza. So you have to have moderation. So I think that's important.
And that's where you make, sorry to cut you off.
Sorry,
but that's where you make the compromise.
Well, that's just it. It's not, you can't just flick a switch. It's just not going to happen.
So, like, we'll still order pizza.
Sure.
And I will get the one that's dairy-free and gluten-free. And then Matt gets the one, so it's more expensive.
Yep.
But Matt gets his regular pizza. And then the funny thing is he eats his, and then he also eats the rest of mine. Not in one sitting. But, so he actually doesn't mind the gluten dairy-free one.
Oh, I do like it.
But that's where you kind of make the compromise. Or, like, if we go out for dinner, you know, like if we want to get an appetizer, like Matt will kind of, like, grab an appetizer that he knows that I'm going to like as well. And that I can have without feeling stomach.
No, it's true. But you start to get addicted. You're not addicted to it, but you start to really reap the benefits of eating well. And it can almost, I'll be honest, I don't work out very much at all. And I've been able to maintain a relatively, you know, somewhat decent physique. Now, I wouldn't be able to do any wind sprints, but I can, you know, at least I still fit into the clothes that I fit into. If I was eating the way that I was eating before, I would be enormous.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a big difference. And when, like I said, when you get into your 30s and 40s and you've got a little one or something like that, you look at them and you think, okay, I got to stick around for them. You know, like people who are drinking lots of pop and stuff like that. I'm starting to hear about people who are getting pre-diabetic or diabetes in general and things like that. I think these are things that are real and impact you now.
Yeah, you're setting the stage.
You know, in the 20s
now.
it's different. In the 20s you're carefree, but when you get into your late 30s, things start, you know, not healing as quickly. So that, I think that's important. And as a guy, I think that's really important to guys, is that, you know, you want to be around for a long time. Yeah. And when you have a family, it amplifies that feeling even more.
And I think,
Sorry, go ahead. You're going to say
I'm so bad at cutting off. I was just going to say, I think that that's one thing that can motivate those of you. Like a lot of women say that their husbands are super thin and then they don't have to eat healthy. And then so where's the motivation? And for those of you that are watching that have children, that can immediately become a motivation. But I would say before that, like before we had Rowynne, a lot of it came down to how he felt. And you don't realize how good you're going to feel until you try it.
That's just it. Like, you know, when we used to eat like that, I'd get really lethargic. I would sleep,
snoring,
snore, because I was congested.
There's a motivator.
Like those are a big deal, right? And then when I do snore, you know that's because I've had some sort of dairy or something. Right? And so there's that, and then I, like I said, after a while, here's a little bit of honesty. I used to be able to take down a full party-size pizza from Pizza Nova. Like I could eat that in one sitting, and I think that's 24 square slices of pizza.
Wow, it's confession time.
And that wasn't all that long ago that I do that. If Allie watches this video, she can ask John about my pizza parties. And that's what I would do. I would literally take down a whole pizza. Yeah. I couldn't do that now. Like I can go to like a Pizza Nova and get a slice, and that does me. Like that's the little taste. I got it. Good, great, done. I'm on. Yeah. On to the next thing. Like, and you know, when I have a bad one, I'll come home and I'll say, okay, my God, we have to start eating clean again. Yeah. We have to start eating clean, and I'll go to the grocery store, we'll buy a whole bunch of clean stuff. Like it's amazing how much you will start to want to eat that way.
Because you sleep better, because you don't snore, you don't get food hangovers, as I call them, and you just feel generally light and like more, I don't know, positive, not the word, but more like quick and focused and just in general. Yeah.
And guys kind of care about that stuff more nowadays. You know, I think that, you know, guys are more and more opening up about these kinds of things and caring about what they eat and how they feel and stuff. So I don't know. I think for some guys it's just the motivation to get started. It may not be that they don't want to do it. They probably know that they have to do it. They just, you know, they just need a little.
They're resistant.
They just need a little bit of encouragement from people around them. You know what I mean? That are doing the same thing. So yeah.
And if you're eating healthier, you have better sex too. So that helps. That could be motivating for men. Your wife will feel better, and you will feel better. Are there any questions? I know we rambled a bit during this, but are there any questions or anything for us before we log off?
Is that it? That was it? Oh, everyone asked me?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Ask Matt how he ate before and why he continues with the change. Yep. Ask Matt, how would you motivate the non-interested spouse? So I asked you those questions. Yeah,
well, if there's any non-interested spouses that want to bounce any ideas off me, they can send questions to you, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be happy to answer them.
Or they're going to get mad at you for being like, man. Okay, Stock's saying love it. Hey, I hope that Bill watched. I hope that Bill's sitting there with you. I know Sabrina's husband watches with her, which is awesome. But yeah, so either that or husbands are going to be mad at you.
Best vegan cheese, go. Earth Island, done.
Yeah, Earth Island.
They do it in a cheddar and a mozzarella, and both of them are outstanding as either cold on their own or melted in a sandwich or on top of something or on a burger. Fantastic. Yeah. And they also have shredded ones now. I just grabbed some the other day. So they have shredded ones if you like to put on top of nachos and stuff.
And you find that in the organic section?
I like it better than Daya.
Yeah, it's better than Daya for sure. And you find that in the organic section. Rob needs to, let's see. What do you say? Rob needs to watch. I'm going to tell him Ashley looks really hot in this video. Whatever motivates him.
What about me? I wore the deep V-neck for this.
Yeah. Ash just bought the cheddar. Yeah. It's at Walmart. Yeah. Oh, good to know. It's at Walmart.
Walmart's getting in the game.
Bill would rather die than eat clean. He'd just rather never eat. Poor Bill. Oh, you have to let me know what you guys end up doing for your little anniversary date. I hope you took my suggestion. Thanks. Where do you buy yours? Oh yeah, so we get ours at the
Most of the stuff you get at the Superstore.
But Ash just said you can get it at Walmart too.
And
So
Costco. Well, you had that. You have your other Facebook Live you did that was all about where we buy all our stuff.
yeah, I don't know if you
We'll
saw
go to
that, Mona,
Costco
but
too.
I did a Facebook Live last Wednesday about all like our food staples and where to get them. I'm solo tonight.
Oh, Matt looks hot. Okay, thank you for the correction. Yes,
Thank
you.
I meant Matt looks hot. That will motivate Rob. Oh, good. Tell him we miss him. Matt specifically. I'm solo tonight. Rich is working. Oh, well, it's really nice that sometimes he pops on here. And then great. So any more questions or we're going to pop off? And then, I don't know. I almost want to have a beer tonight. It was one of those days.
Well, we're gonna have one of those we're gonna have some of our vegan cheesecake. Remember, with coffee.
Oh yes, we were supposed to finish our weekend yesterday with our day of cheesecake as like a little nice dessert, which we like to do sometimes on Sundays.
Yeah.
And then
on
we
sale.
fell asleep.
Superstore. I fell asleep last night.
And then we fell asleep. Whoops.
All right.
Fell asleep on the couch. Do you eat top?
What's top?
TVP?
TVP. Oh, what's TVP?
I've heard of that. What is that, Mona?
TVP.
Is that like a powdered something? Is that like that powdered, almost like
It's not the powdered peanut butter.
no.
It's like
Is it like protein?
I don't know that one.
I don't know. It takes a bit sometimes to
Is it?
answer.
Oh, okay. No, I guess you can always get back to her about
Well, I guess if we don't know what it is, our answer is no. No, we don't eat that. Alternative to ground beef. Yes, that is what I thought it was. So it's like, yeah, it's like that beef thing. No, we haven't eaten that, and we don't eat a lot of meat, but we have been.
But sorry, I was gonna say I have field roast, which is those they're these nice sausages that you can get that are vegan sausages, and they taste just like real sausage, and they're made with the soy stuff, textured soy protein or whatever you want to call it. And those are really good. Like the field roast ones.
They smell like
they're delicious.
They smell like
yeah, and it sucks that they for whatever reason they have wheat gluten in them, and so you can't have them. But I enjoy them, and they also have veggie. Like Eve's does those veggie burgers, and I had one of those. 2 of those yesterday, and they were outstanding.
Yeah. So we have a lot of that, and then we have soy or tofu, which is basically our soy, and tempeh.
I got that from the Superstore. It's usually I go to the one at Ton and Brock, and they have it in the kind of the vegan section there at the back. Yeah, field roast. Yeah, that's it. Field roast. They come in. There's really good ones. There's an Italian one, mild Italian, and then there's this apple one that apple rosemary that I can't find, or apple sage. I haven't been able to find it.
Yeah, and you know what they're really good on? Sprouted grain burger buns and hot dog buns.
They're delicious.
Which you can also get in the frozen section. Mm-hmm. So that's really good as well. It's a nice way to have a traditional meal that would make you like really bloated, but it doesn't. So you can have all that and it won't make you feel gross and farty.
Yeah.
It won't make you farty, which is nice too.
I don't have that problem, but you do.
Yeah, right. I don't. I used to when I had digestion problems. I used to, but I don't any longer.
No, I'm just kidding. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So is that good,
I think
guys?
we've answered all the questions, but if there's more, we can always ask.
Oh yeah, I'll come. I always like to come on here for the next 24 hours. Thanks for popping on, guys. And I know we rambled a lot, but as I did with my Facebook Lives, we'll get better and better too. Oh, and by the way, on Royally Fit Online this week, we're doing the 20 questions. So Matt and I did that in August when we were celebrating our 3rd year anniversary. I was always doing Facebook Live on Wednesday night, so we were celebrating our anniversary on Wednesday. So that's, if you didn't catch it, we ended up doing a bunch of questions, and we thought it was a lot of fun. So I decided to do it this week for Royally Fit Online. So you're going to take 20 questions. You can go on Google, and what did you type in? It was almost like
ask me anything questions. AMAs. People do them on Reddit all the time. They'll have like a celebrity on or someone like that. Someone really cool, and they'll do an ask me anything.
Oh, okay.
Which is you can ask them any question and they cherry pick them, but then they answer them.
Yeah.
And so I look for the best AMA questions.
Yeah, so you can go on like Google and go ask me anything, and you can get like a printout. So anyways, that's our challenge this week. So I just asked Matt 2 questions, so I only have 18 more to go. But we challenge you guys to do the same thing, either with your spouse, with your best friend, with one of your coworkers, to just switch it up and learn something new about each other, and have some fun, and not just sit in front of the TV, you know, all night just watching it and not conversing.
Yeah.
So
watching episodes of the confession tapes.
Ooh, that's a good show. Just started it on the weekend. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. And we have to kill that bug out there.
Yeah, I gotta go get him.
What is it? That's a.
I don't know what that is. I'll get him with the vacuum though.
It looks almost like a silverfish or something.
I'm gonna shut this down.
I know. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.